Yeah, hi, Facebook. Just going live, and today's subject is health, the truth about anger. Now, before we get into that, because I've started a bit early, about 90 seconds, I just want to show you a couple of things. Now, I don't know if you can see them. There's a bit of a light reflection here, but that is an actual copy of a picture of the Queen's coronation in, I think it's 1952, 53. And I don't know the year, but basically that's Winston Churchill. Now, what has that got to do with today? Well, that will be apparent in a short while. And there's also another one here of the Queen with her dad in the royal carriage. And I came across them. There's loads. I've got loads of them. Another one here, which is on her way to getting the crown, or just after. Yeah. Anyway, yeah, exciting. I just found them. So okay, we're bang on time. So let's get going. Anger. Oh God. Have you ever displayed anger? That's a question I want you to ask yourself. And of course, for 99.9% of us, it's probably yes. Now, there are varying degrees of anger. Anger can be a good thing, can be positive to vent the frustrations of life and things that happen. But some people take it too far. It's interesting. The other question I've got notes up here, so you'll see me looking up towards it. If you did get angry, and I'm talking about proper anger here, okay? What triggered your anger? Was it something someone said, or something someone did? What really in the UK got your goat, or what made you react? Okay, it's very interesting. If you could I wish you could have a live debate and actually interview people, and I could have a round table. It would be great. So the third question I want is, did you need to act that way? Okay, and this will be important when we come to the last question: is how do we control anger? So okay, so on this Facebook Live, you'll find out a little bit about what anger is. It's a huge subject. I mean, it's what emotion is behind anger. A similar type of question is, what is the cause of anger? Okay, now you can relate this to anything, whether it's sport, whether it's your relationship, whether it's your family, whether it's your business, or your work. Again, there's hundreds of different scenarios. The next one will be, what are the three types of anger? Yeah, that's right. What are the three types of anger, and how do we control anger? That's probably the most important one. How we control anger, and it's funny enough, it's quite easy. Okay, so what is anger? What do you think it is? It's an emotion, or more like it's you're not being able to control your emotions. All right, and but the key really is to master your emotions. If you can master your emotions, you'll still get angry, but it's how you deal with things. Okay, it's your attitude, it's your mindset. It's very, very important that you treat things in the right way. You treat people in the right way. Okay, it is so easy to go off at tangents. Okay, I've written quite a few things down here, so I just want to relate to them. What emotion is behind anger? Okay, it could be being treated unjustly. It could be criticism. It could be hearing someone saying something bad about you, and there's all different triggers that make things go wrong, and it could be simply not getting what you want, and I think that happens to us all at some stage. So yeah, hi Ian, good to see you on there, and I hope you're well as well. Okay, so I'm going to say this now. I could say it at the end, but I'll say it now. If you ever need to talk about getting angry or anger with someone else that you can't talk to them about, please feel free to get in touch at any time. Okay, because what happens is most of us sit on anger. We dwell on it. Okay, doesn't do anyone any good. And I'm not saying let it out in a forceful way or a noisy way, but you know the ways you can release some anger. Exercise. You can relax. Go and have one beer. There's lots of ways. Okay, because I used to do sport all the while, I managed to dissipate the anger that I had with my job. And to be fair, I enjoyed my job as a police officer, and I did that for 33 years. And there was very, very few times I got angry. I mean, you can imagine. Think of the things that are happening today. I won't describe what's happening today. I think we all know. Okay. As a police officer, you'd have people really trying to rile you up, trying to get you to lose your temper. And in those type of circumstances, I was cool as a cucumber. Okay. And because they get right up close to you, get in your face and it's like they're spitting over you. They're not, but it's because they're getting so angry and not controlling what they're saying. And I just smile at them, you know. And they're just trying to get you to react. So someone takes a video or a photograph of you doing something wrong. And who's the one that loses in the end? Okay. And it's you as a police officer. Okay. But I have to say, nobody trained us in how to deal with anger and angry situations. Okay. Now take that, we're supposed to be professional, but nobody ever mentioned how to deal with someone who was in your face. I mean, I know I'd like to deal with them. There were a couple of occasions, as I said to you, most of the time I was cool as a cucumber. Doesn't say I wasn't ready for action, because I was, you know, at any time. But there was only two occasions, maybe three. Now, I've got to be careful not to go into too much detail here. I think you know, for obvious reasons. Now, I've been retired now. I retired in 2006. But anyway, what happened on one occasion was I came across a criminal doing something wrong. I can't even tell you what he was doing, because that would identify where it was. And because cheeky type of person I am, I just said, I knew him as well. I knew his name. And I said, Ron, I said, that's not yours. So he immediately turned around and headbutted me in the face. And I think he realized that he'd made a mistake, because the 2 or 3 yards that he tried to run away. I've got my phone going off. I'm going to have to reject it. Hang on a sec. He won't go. Help. Right. Okay. Yeah, he realised after 2 or 3 yards that he'd made a mistake, and I was on him like a pack of wolves. And he went on holiday for 2 weeks. That might give you an indication of how he enjoyed the next 2 weeks. So, yeah, it was shaking hands at the end of it as well. So that's always a good thing. But and there was one other occasion where I came across a shoplifter. The shoplifter was female. Okay. And yeah, hi Dave. Yeah, I did get your call, by the way. Sorry, I rejected it. Yeah, so this woman was shoplifting. It was, you know, and sometimes you just don't want to deal with things. They're so not trivial, but look, just go. I said to her, go and put them back, and we'll call it quits. Leave it at that. And she turned around, she went bang, and knocked me down. I mean, she was twice my size, I have to say. So, and not exactly proud, but then we had a fight. And I'll tell you what, she's one of the best people I've ever fought in my life, and that's including all blokes as well. So, I don't feel too sorry for her. But again, she decided that it was best that she went away on holiday for 2 weeks or 3 weeks. I don't know how long it was, and I would say probably two of the 3 times in 33 years I lost my temper. Now, I also dealt with domestic violence. I saw some horrible things. I can't even recount them to you because they're that bad. I think I'd probably get shut down by Facebook. But so I was dealing with mainly angry men, and I dealt with manipulative women. I dealt with narcissists, And but the bottom line is, it's just a disaster waiting to happen, you know. And I could go into lots of things, but you know, things that I've come across. Anger on the football field. I played football for 44 years, and I remember age of 19. I was a good footballer. I was very fast, and didn't last long, mind you. But anyway, so I obviously had what we call skinned this fella twice, which means getting past him easily with the ball and going away. And when the ball's up the other end of the field, he came up to me. I can't tell you what he said, okay? But what he did, he walked up and just kicked me straight in the shin. And them days, we didn't have shin pads or anything, okay? It wasn't enough to break your leg or anything like that. It was enough just to let you know that I had been... he thought that I was taking the mick out of him, okay? And I wasn't. I really wasn't at the end of the day. I was just concentrating on what I was doing. We later, after that, we became good friends. So, you know, there was no animosity. It wasn't that bad. It was just out of the blue. I didn't see it coming or anything. So anger's a funny thing, you know. And if you look, I study videos, and especially with the current state of things. And I'm not going to get political. Really, I'm not going down that route. Okay, but the current state of things, as far as rioters and demonstrators. I've got no problem with protesters. I dealt with them for years, but people are there a lot of people there to cause trouble. They hijack a good protest, okay? And I dealt with hundreds of them, of these events, okay? And it's funny because you know we were dealing with lots of anarchists and people like that, and I didn't have a problem with them. I just thought I thought it was all funny, you know, and that's how I enjoyed being a police officer. And I just remember we do so many of these demonstrations. We had the same people turning up, you know. So let's say, for argument's sake, is ban the bomb, and then it was against South Africa, so it was South African embassy. It was something else, and it was like it was the same people turning up. Oh, got this phone keep going off. Let me turn it. Right. So we'd have the same people. In the end, you get to know people. Even on some occasions, I say, "How you doing, Joan? How's the children?" I mean, that's how ridiculous it was. So they, you know, I remember being on one demonstration outside the South African embassy. They're all police with. We were in uniform, and we were at the back of the crowd, in amongst the crowd, but at the back of the crowd, and there was police lines with shields and everything, and then obviously they did a charge of the shields and all this type of thing. They actually went past us to go and charge the shields and left us alone. The three of us, me and two WPCs, women police officers. It's surreal, absolutely surreal. Never gave us any grief whatsoever. Just went and attacked the police lines outside the embassy. So there's weird things going as well. But let's get back to anger. Okay. What is the cause of anger? Okay. Well, you know, it's a natural part of being human, anger. And you can channel it, and it can be useful to, as I say, to vent your anger, vent your frustrations. You know, because I've been attacked as a police officer because someone's lost a loved one, and I've had to go around and tell them about it. I've had other people collapse on the floor, break down crying, you know, but some attack you. So you've got to be aware of that. Now, never took it personally, and they were never going to hurt you or anything like that. But what is it when you're angry? It's just about mastering your emotions, okay? And the times that we lose it is when we don't master our emotions, okay? Now, there are basically three types of anger, okay? Now, two are good, one's all right. Okay, so let's deal with number one. Now, number one is passive aggression. Some people are called passive aggressive. So, okay, this is where the individual that's angry, and you get a lot of this in lot of this in domestic violence, as well as the other one I'm going to mention. But and that is where they don't like confrontation. They're silent but angry. You can see simmering underneath. They're sulking. They procrastinate. They don't. They pretend that everything is fine. They'll tell their partner that everything is fine, and because they need to be in control, and they've lost control for that amount of time. That's why they're angry. Okay, not getting their own way. Okay, so these are the people you have to be very careful of. If you take any situation, you watch a fight, watch the periphery of a fight. Okay, it's not the people in people's faces that are the problem. It's the people standing on the sidelines that are ready with the knife. They go in, stab, run away. Okay, and those are the people you've got to watch. And so whenever I went to an angry confrontation, whether it be an incident or an event, I was always looking, because everyone else is looking at the angry person or people. I looked on the outside because I knew that's where the problems were. Okay, so that's passive aggressives. Obviously, the next one is the big one that everyone pays attention to, and that's open aggression. Okay, now this is the people that lash out. These are the people that mouth off. These are the ones that are in a rage outwardly, physical and verbal. I mean, sorry. So they come out fighting. They're bullying. I mean, there's many ways of bullying, but bullying physically, I'm talking about, and getting in your face, and accusing, shouting, being sarcastic, trying to wind you up, criticizing. It goes on and on. Okay. Now they're very easy to deal with, because the worst thing that they do is they want you to react. So what do? Sit there and smile, or stand there and smile, saying, "Have a nice day now." That winds people up more than anything. And I wasn't even trying to wind people up, and I was winding them up. So, but if they get physical, they get their hands on, then there's a whole different ball game. Okay. Obviously, years ago, there was cameras, but there wasn't videos, there wasn't phones. You see now when you get the instance, you get people with phones, and they're waiting. They're just there. They're like vultures, aren't they? Just waiting to take the picture so they can post it on their YouTube channel and things like that. And people recording you. So I feel sorry for the police officers these days, because there's no retribution at all. They're walking on eggshells all the time. They can't say anything. They can't do anything. You've got people in their face, and you've got their bosses behind them who are scared cowards, frightened to do anything, not giving any orders. And I can tell you now, we dealt with a demonstration many years ago. Not going to go into too much details, but we were outnumbered 400 to 40. And so I don't think it was me. I don't think it was. But someone shouted out, "Let's go get them." So we got them. That was the end of that riot. We were outnumbered 10 to 1. But that's just a bit of fun. Nobody really got hurt and things like that. But the previous 40 officers that had been there had all got injured. So that isn't funny. Okay, so you've had passive aggression. You've got open aggression. Now, this is the way to deal with. it, and that's assertive anger. What it means is you stay in control. There's a healthy way of dealing with anger and dealing with people. It's controlled. You remain confident. You can even let the person reverse back, okay, without losing face. As I think it's the Chinese that say, is it losing face? And you do it through talking, through listening. Good communication's always good. You're open to help. You're open to talk. You're flexible, and it's the best way to be. It's the mature way. It's the way you care about people. And I care about people. I wouldn't have been in the police. I didn't join the police to be openly aggressive with people. Okay, I joined the police to actually help people, also to catch criminals as well. That was one of my things I love doing. And forgiving, being forgiven, forgiveness, forgiving people, and being forgiven. And that's all part of it as well. So Look, you are important. I'm important. Everybody's important. Again, and your life counts. Okay, and it's got nothing to do with the present thing. That's not. I'm not trying to be catchy here. You count. You count. Your life is very, very important. We all need to get on with each other. That's the other thing, And right, what I'll say is this: the number one key, and I've said it already. You've got to master your emotions. Now, sometimes we don't succeed. Okay, but as long as generally you do, then that's fine. Okay, so oh, those ones. Sorry. So let me go back. I've got notes here as well. So we know what anger is. It's not being able to check your emotions. The emotion behind the anger, what causes anger, what are the 3 types of anger, okay, and how we control anger is what I'm going to talk about now. Lastly, okay, it's very. I think it's very simple. Now that could be just for me, but you have to stop. Put a halt up when you're losing your temper. Put your halt up. Walk away. You have to count to 10. You have to take some deep breaths. Walk around the block, and come back when you're totally cool. It's easier said than done. I get that. But the question you need to ask yourself is it really important? Okay. Is it that important that you really want to spoil things? Fall out with someone, have a fight with someone? Really? The worst things that I see are football matches, the crowd. Even worse than that is road rage. Now, I have to hold my hands up here and say that over the years, I've got extremely wound up when I'm driving. It's normally not because someone makes a mistake, because that's, you normally just say sorry and that's the end of it, isn't it? It's when they do it on purpose and they don't care. And yeah, they're looking to upset you. There's no doubt about it. And you can tell that by people who do fender. Is it America's called it fender bender and all that type of thing where they have accidents because someone's too close? But people sitting right up behind you when you're driving. I suppose that the thing for me was I couldn't stand idiots. And that was the biggest thing for me. People who had no driving skills and things like that. I've got much better, I have to say. I've worked on it. I can't remember the last time I lost my anger behind the wheel. Yes, have I said something? Yes, but it's not in the same tone. So definitely getting there. Anyway, that's all I really want to say about anger. You could talk about it all day. There's 100 different points of view on it. And but all I will say is it affects your ability to get the job done, especially if you've got a business. Let it go. Okay, if you're at work, let it go. Right, things will come back to normal pretty quickly. Okay, if it's within a relationship, try and smile and just say it's just one of those things. It'll be back to normal in a minute. It's better. It's easier said than done. Okay. So as I said before, if you need to talk, get in touch with me. Look, hopefully, if you found this Facebook Live enjoyable, maybe a little bit interesting, thought-provoking, please like, comment, and share it with someone if you think it will help that person or their situation. So that's all I've got time for today. Have an amazing day. Take care of yourself, and bye for now.